My grandfather came to this country with nothing. He couldn't even speak the language. But he worked hard and he made a place for himself and his family. Now why can't you people do the same?
Hey, my grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigga.
Maldito. De todo esto que está pasando, lo que más me duele y disgusta es que te molestes con nosotros. Date cuenta.
Abuelita, why do telenovela actors look like us? Why are they all white?
¿De qué hablas? Sí estamos en las telenovelas, tales como...
Sorry, abuelita. She's got a point.
¿Dejaste la puerta abierta?
This is the cat call, and I'm calling this shit out. Novelas. They're over-dramatic, over-the-top, and overtly white. Take, for instance, novelas that I grew up watching. Marimar, Luz Clarita, and Soñadoras. All consisted of a light-skinned Latina like myself or a white-passing Latina as the protagonist. Just Google top novela stars and you'll realize real quick that our novela stars lean a little more on the European side. Take, for instance, actress Cristina Campuzano from Colombia's novela La Niña. Just kidding. That's Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story. Dang, they look alike. Novelas are so white because of a little something called...
There has been a rise of hate crimes against Latinos according to researchers, and what's contributing to it? Well, certain media coverage and anti-immigrant rhetoric. One of the patterns that researchers have detected is that there is an increase of hate crimes against Latinos when there is national news about Latinos. For example, when there is extensive media coverage of the migrant caravans traveling north from Central America. Anti-immigrant rhetoric from politicians around such news also plays a role in these incidents. Conspiracies against minorities like Latinos promote hate. There are a lot of anti-immigrant groups in the US that like to repeat false and racist conspiracies that create the perfect culture for hate crimes to happen. The number of hate crimes against Latinos may be higher than records show because a lot of times Latinos don't report for different reasons, and that can be because of fear or language barrier.
Hey there, I hope that you're doing fine wherever you are today. This is Ujindak Stories and here I am with another video. Today's video is purposefully intended for black people and people from the Latino community, the entire Hispanic community. Whether you are Afro-Latino, whether you are Hispanic themselves, whether you are a black person, this is something that I feel like we need to talk about, right? I've had cases where we have Latino people complaining that they are being discriminated as immigrants. They are being looked down upon because they are seen as immigrants, and some people are racist towards them, right? And this is something that we definitely have been trying to talk about in this channel, maybe not most recently, but these are among the things that I've been trying to talk about in my channel. So the reason as to why I found it a little bit problematic or dramatic, if you could say, is the fact that we have Latinos who are coming out saying that people are discriminating against them. People are always looking against them because they are amongst people of color, right? They are considered as people of color. Probably Asians consider as people of color. Hispanics consider as people of color. Black people considered as people of color. So amongst the initially marginalized group, according to the caste system of the white supremacy and how it led to all these things. Now, that's even not just that. My point is, why are they continuing mistreating black people like that while they are also complaining against people who are mistreating them, you know? And the golden rule is, do to somebody what it will be happy for you if somebody did it too, right? So why would you complain? And I know that it is not, I mean, it's not like all the Latinos are doing this. I know it is not all of them, but I'm talking about the group of people who are trying to do this. These are the people that I'm trying to talk about. I'm not trying to talk about the entire Latino community, because we have good people in any group. We also have black people who are not good, right? So entirely, I'm not trying to talk about the all system, like the Latino system, but I'm trying to talk about this group of people who they are misleading black people, yet they are also out there also trying to say that they are always looked down upon. They are being chosen off, just like immigrant, and everyone is spreading this self-hate. I don't want to say much, because there are a couple of videos that I'm going to be sharing with you that tries to show you why most especially these are personal anecdotes of people who are trying to share their experiences in regards to the type of racism that they have received. And a disclaimer, the personal anecdotes that are being shared in this video are, one, black people sharing their personal anecdotes in relation to what their counterparts, Latinos, have discriminated them. Some of them are talking through the experience. I'm also going to be sharing a couple of videos where Latinos are also going to be calling out each other. Some Latinos also saying how they are being discriminated, and I hope that you find these videos helpful, educative, because they help bring perspective of what I'm trying to say. This is your presenter, Agent Stories, and if you're watching this video for the first time, I'll definitely ask you to subscribe to this channel, to join our membership, and really come get to see what we can offer you. Let's dive right into the video.
I lived in Miami for almost a year, and while I was there, in the apartment building that I was living in Pembroke Pines, there were some Mexican guys doing some repairs on the roof. They saw me pass by walking my dog, and they say, "Beautiful, morena." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." And they say, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Cuba." They say, "Cuba? We didn't know people in Cuba look like you." And I said, "Like me, like what? Black?" And he just stopped on his tracks and changed the subject. The majority of Latino people are very racist. I didn't know that I was living in a very racist country until I met my Jamaican husband, and he made me realize how racist people in Cuba were. And once your eyes are open to this, you cannot unsee it. There was a time in Jamaica when you could watch Spanish television. We had two TV stations, Univision and Telemundo. These TV stations, each of them had one black anchor. One had one female for the news, and the other one had a male, two black people. Both TV stations show a wide array of telenovelas, which is basically Spanish soap operas. And these telenovelas were made and produced in Latin America. Brazil, Colombia, Mexico are one of the biggest places where soap operas are made. Now you tell me now, how a Colombian telenovela of 350 episodes don't have one black person in it? If you see a black actor on a telenovela, is actually playing a slave or a character that they are trying to bring back to life, like Celia Cruz. So these have just added to that white supremacy and had made people from other places believe that black people doesn't exist in Latin America any at all. So if as a Jamaican, you travel to Miami and you suffer what he did, don't be surprised. I'm sorry this happens to you, but it's a sad truth. Hopefully this change soon. This will change soon in the future. Thanks for watching. Mucha love.
So what's one thing people need to know about before going to Spain? Like, can you tell us something?
It's nice to go to Spain on holiday. Don't go there to live.
Why?
If you're a minority, it doesn't go very well.
Elaborate, man, elaborate. What do you mean by minority? If you're black, Asian, anything?
Anything. It is a very racist country, unfortunately. They're very far behind. They don't know any of the protests or anything going on. Okay.
Sorry, what's going on? Sorry?
No, you're not with me.
But I don't know. Yeah, we're having an interview though. I'm working right now, so. Bro, can you just go there? I'm working right now. I'll tell you next. We're working, bro. Bro, I'm working. Bro, please, can you stop disturbing me?
Why does no one talk about how rude and racist Barcelona is? Like,
all the workers there, like all the Spanish people there, were just so rude for no reason. They just did at me and my friend, like they treated us so horribly. So I'll start with the best story, with the racist experience that happened to us in the metro in Barcelona. So we were sitting, masks are mandatory in Spain, but of course we don't know that because we're from London, and London, like, no one's using masks anymore. So my friend didn't have a mask, but we were on the tube. I did have a mask, so she was like covering her face with her jumper. And after, a woman comes behind and taps her, and she says this in Spanish. Of course, we understand Spanish, we're Ecuadorians. And she says, like, I don't know if you realise, but masks are mandatory in the tube. And then my friend's like, oh, and she's like, sorry, I don't have one. And she's like, masks are mandatory. Did you not see the signs? Did you not just see the police come? Like, masks are mandatory. I don't know what you're doing here. Then you need a mask. And then after I get in, and I'm like, and my friend looks at me, and I get in, I'm like, I'm sorry, she just doesn't have a mask. And she's like, I don't care. She's getting off in the next stop. She gets off. She can't be on the train. She's getting off. And then after, she's so loud. She's shouting in front of everyone in the tube. Like, everyone's just minding their business. Everyone's just staring at us. Like, we're like, what the hell? And then after, I proceed to say, I'm like, oh, we're tourists. We're sorry. We didn't know. Because we are, like, I'm not lying. We just didn't know we're tourists. And then she looks at us and she says, with those faces you guys have, I believe you. Like, in a sarcastic, rude way. And then she walks off and she says back to us, she's like, but to come to my country and ask for help, you're good at that. So I'll give a bit of context. There's a lot of Latinos in Spain. Yes, like, lots of Latinos immigrate to Spain to work and, like, to live there, find jobs and all of that. So obviously when she looked at us, she must have thought like we were one of those Latinos that were living in Spain. Like, she couldn't believe that we were tourists that came from the UK. So that's why when she looked at us, she was like, oh yeah, with those faces, I believe you. And she proceeded to say that, like, yeah, we basically go to her country to ask for help and, like, take her jobs and all of that. So me and my friend were just like, huh? So me and my friend, we were in shock. Like, she just walked off. And yeah, that happened. I know for a fact if we were white, she would have believed that we were tourists. And we were speaking Spanish because, of course, we speak Spanish. Spanish is Spain, so why wouldn't I speak Spanish? You want me to be walking around speaking English? Like, what the hell? Also, when we went to this restaurant, like, this restaurant was full of, like, just Spanish white people inside. They literally stared at us from the minute we walked in. We sat in our table. We were sitting there for 8 minutes. No waiter came over. Nothing. My friend then asked for the menu. The waiter said, okay. He never came back. We left the restaurant because I was like, I'm not sitting there. Like, they're not giving us any service. All the workers were just very rude to us.
Ask you something?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay. Which one of these baby dolls is your favorite? This one? I knew you were gonna say that. What's her name? Lilac? That's pretty. What about her name? Ava. If I was to ask you, are they different? Do they look different? They're both your girls? What makes them look different, though? What makes them look different? How do they look different?
Her has a hat and her has hair.
Oh, she has a hat and she has hair. Oh, okay. So as you can see, she doesn't see color in these two baby dolls. She only sees two little girls. Parents,
Yeah.
Stop picking toys for your kids.
Yeah.
Let them pick their own, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, racism isn't born, it's taught.
So this is a message just to my Latino people out there. Something that really annoys me is when Latinos from places that have diverse populations speak about racism not being a problem or not existing. And often they do this in reaction to a fellow Latino person or BIPOC person talking about the racism they have experienced. And there's a lot to uncover with this. Like, let's make multiple videos, why not? But just listen to me real quick. So recently I went to go stay in Arizona for like a month and a half. I was born there, but originally, like, I'm from Colorado. I'm in Colorado right now. And trust me, just trust me when I tell you that you are, like, the experiences that you have as a brown woman, like, between Colorado and Arizona, astronomical, okay? And that's not saying much because Arizona is like a pretty conservative state still. But regardless, there are more BIPOC people there than there is in Colorado. I would say Colorado is predominantly white, non-diverse. And because of that, the reactions that you get from people just like in your waking life is super, super different. Like, I feel like in Arizona, I was treated as a real life person. When I went to the store and I was checking out my stuff, the cashier people would talk to me. When I was in line for things, I wouldn't get cut off. People treated me like a person and like would move out of the way if we were like passing crossing paths. When you walk into a store, people would actually greet you. Whereas in Colorado, it's a completely different story. And this is the thing. To me, this is like a entire Colorado thing. It doesn't matter if I'm in Colorado Springs or Denver or Boulder. No matter what, I'm treated like shit. I could go on for days like the racist things I've experienced here, but it's just like a culture shock, like not seeing anybody that looks like you again, and people just like not treating you the same as they would other people. Again, I'm very observational. So in Arizona, I would see, you know, human interactions. It seemed like pretty much like people would interact equally for the different encounters that they had. In Colorado, mind you, I've grown up here pretty much my whole life, and it's not like people are more emotionally conservative here. They're politically conservative. But like cashiers, store interactions, human interactions, people say hi to each other. Like this stereotypically like golden retriever state, right? Unless you're black or brown. If that's the case, like people just, you're not a person. They don't see you. And it's not just me that feels this. Like so many of my friends that are here that are BIPOC feel this way. My family feels this way. My little brothers feel this way. Like we all notice. And I don't know, I guess I just feel like sad that I'm back in my reality and people are just like, but again, that annoys me so much when Latinos that come from like California, Arizona, Nevada, like places where it's just more diverse with the population, they're like, I've never experienced racism. And while there's so much to uncover with that statement, and it's just simply not true for a lot of cases, like, well, yeah, duh, because there's like a lot more places and people that are similar to your culture and what you look like. And it's always like the like paler Latinos that say this stuff too. I'm like, of course you don't. Of course you don't. But anyways.
I just read this really good book by Tanya Cateri Hernandez called Racial Innocence, Unmasking Latino Anti-Black Bias and the Struggle for Equality. It's really good, but some people are not going to like some of the things she said in it. Dr. Hernandez introduces this concept called Latino racial innocence, which is when Latinos use their real or imagined mixed heritage to claim they cannot be racist. For example, some Latinos say they cannot possibly be racist because they are a person of color. Dr. Hernandez found a lot of court cases where Black people said that they were discriminated against by Latinos. For example, Dr. Hernandez describes a case where a Black Panamanian claimed that he was discriminated against because he was fired by his Latina supervisor when she claimed that his teaching was not engaging enough. But since the supervisor didn't fire the other instructors who were white Latinos, the judge found that there was no discrimination because the workplace was diverse. In another case, a Latina landlord told a Black man that an apartment was not available, and then she turned around and rented it to a Latina that was not Black. And the judge said that since she rented the apartment to a Latino, that she's obviously not racist, and he dismissed the case. Dr. Hernandez argues that Latinos' anti-Black racism sustains racist structures and that every aspect of white supremacy must be eradicated, even when it's articulated in Spanish.
Hello guys, tell me what you think about this video. What can you say towards this group of Hispanic people? because all I know, in the face of white people, you are not white to them. So it usually leaves me with a lot of question when I see a person of color, for example, a Latino or any Asian, trying to discriminate black people. And I'm not saying that this is just only happens with Latino community, but it also happens with some Asians. Like, okay, they hate, they see black people as just another nigga, the way the brother tried to, describe in the video. So I'll definitely like to ask you, probably you're a Latino who is watching this video. What's your experience? What can you share with this? What can you say about this? Have you ever received what's experience with racism? Because I know sometimes I might be talking about, oh, black people, black people, black people. Definitely, you might be saying, oh, because you're black, you only know the black problems. What about we Latinos? We are also being looked down upon. I'm giving you this chance to share with me in the comment section. What do you feel about this issue? What do you feel about these issue? This is something that I would also like to want you to let me know. So I didn't have much to say, but I'm really saddened by the fact that at this point we need to realize that it is only unity as people from this marginalized group, because we have people who have established themselves. And I know black people will say that, oh, don't beg those people, we don't need to beg them, we are okay as black people, you don't need to beg Latino people. But what I'll definitely say is this: we are not perfect, right? And I know people from the Latino community have bad experiences with black people, and I know also people from the black community also have bad experiences with Latino community. Also, on the flip side, we have people, Latino and black people, who are community, who are staying really well, who are supporting each other. And amongst those are the most important things that I'm trying to talk about. So the question, or something that I'd like to definitely lay to the table: how can we move together? Okay, because we have in these two groups, because look, Latinos, if you look at trying to understand Latinos perspective, they're trying to say that they kind of being looked down upon, right? The same case with black people. But I understand the intensity can be different. For black people, the intensity is way higher than the Latino communities, because we have white Latinos who can pass for white, right? But once you're black unless you're mixed or something like that. And everybody's trying to talk about this, the mixed issue, and the process of how passing really happens, and definitely all those things. So coming to understand from a stance of unity, how can we unify? That's a question that I'll definitely let you know. And I know you people, you are the ones who are staying in the United States, not me. But I can say I'm blessed to have this platform, to at least have the power of social media to see what's happening and to try look at necessary solutions to the problem that we are facing. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I have people who have the Hispanic roots who watches my video and they agree with some things that I say, because we have some common problems that we share. Latino people and black people, we have a common problem that we share. And what if you're trying to see how can we come like together? How can we work together? How can we put our differences past? Because I know we have black people who maybe would prefer not to engage with white people. That's a whole different story. And I'm not saying like white people are bad people or something, but I'm saying like we have black people who don't want to engage with white people, but they rather engage with Latinos, because at least they're trying to see like, oh, these people are really closer to us as compared to white people. Because if we try to look at the groups which are being marginalized, you'll see yourself as also the group that is being marginalized. So you trying to understand this stance where black people, people of color, Latinos, black people where all these really comes from. So my pledge to you by sharing these videos and is that sometimes we need to put our differences at back. And I know a lot of damage have been done, and it seems like it's so impossible for Black people and Latinos to work together. But all I can say that all has not been lost. We still have time to salvage a number of things by ourselves. So I know you're having a lot of questions, and probably you also have something to say. Definitely, I would like you to share with me in the comment section. What do you think about this video? As you know, this is your presenter, Eugene Stories. And until then, see me when I see you then. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.